Hey, did we ever finish our vidcast for Journalism 102?
Oh, shoot. We should probably do that.
Right now?
Well, the cameras are already on. Hi, I'm Alexis Hargraves.
And I'm Amanda Branchcombe. We're both journalism students at Central Michigan University. The topic of discussion will be the future of the news. To find out the future, we must look into the past.
By time traveling?
No, by an informative video.
Oh.
So where did newspapers start in America?
Oh, I know this. It started in 1690 in the English colonies. The first American newspaper was called Public Occurrences, both foreign and domestic, published by Benjamin Harris. It only lasted one issue and was banned for speaking out against authority. Wasn't there another guy in history that did the same thing?
Yeah, that Peter Zenger guy. He was jailed up by Governor Bill Cosby in 1735. Is it 34?
34. That's fine. I didn't know that Bill Cosby was that old.
No, we are talking about a different Bill Cosby. Well, Zenger had published some articles in his paper that accused Governor Cosby of actions that would tarnish his reputation. Zenger's wife continued to publish the paper while he was in jail. He didn't have a trial until 1735.
He was charged with seditious libel, which means saying something false against an authority member and publishing it for the public to see. Chief Justice Lewis Morris told the jury to make a verdict based on whether Zenger published a story against Governor Cosby or not.
His lawyer, Andrew Hamilton, told them to ignore the judge and make a verdict based on whether what Zenger published was truth or not. Zenger was released because he was telling the truth. The purpose of the newspaper was to tell the public the truth, not to hide it and lie. The Zenger trial marked the beginning of freedom from government control of the press.
Newspapers became more popular in the English colonies during the Revolutionary War in 1775. People obtained their information either through word of mouth or from newspapers.
The English colonies were upset with the monarchy's control over their amount of freedom, including their involvement in the news press. In 1783, the Revolutionary War finally ended with the signing of the Treaty of Paris. The United States Constitution was ratified in 1787.
However, the Bill of Rights was not confirmed until December 15, 1791. This included the First Amendment. The Founding Fathers wanted to guarantee that Americans' basic civil liberties would not be threatened by the government. The First Amendment allows freedom of the press, giving newspapers more freedom to publish what they wanted without being jailed or banned like in the past.
Another large event that occurred in the newspaper development was the penny press in 1833. Benjamin Day published a newspaper called the New York Sun. He gave the newsboys a pack of 100 newspapers for 67 cents, and they sold them for a penny apiece. Each boy made 33 cents for selling the whole pack. This system was called the penny press, and soon the other newspapers followed in competition.
Besides selling papers for a penny, the New York Sun was the first newspaper to hire a salaried paid reporter. It was also the first to use newsboys for their advertisement and sale. Selling newspapers for a penny did not cover the cost of the press, so it used advertisements like the newspapers do today.
The penny press system provided information to members of the working and lower classes who couldn't afford the other expensive newspaper. This newspaper covered social issues of interest to these groups, providing valuable information that had been deprived from them before.
The newspaper took off after this, gaining more publicity and using subscriptions and advertisements for revenue. The Civil War helped the newspaper. People would want to know about their loved ones in the war and learn about what side was winning.
Aw, that's so sweet. Inventions that sped up the process, such as the steam press, helped companies produce more newspapers in the same day. Unfortunately, this burst of activity did not last.
During the first half of the 20th century, the number of newspapers published in the United States began to decline. Big newspaper chains such as Bertelsmann, Garnett Company, the Hearst Corporation, Tribune Company, and the Washington Post began to rise.
Technology also declined the number of newspapers being published. In 1969, ARPANET released the original Internet. In 1974, the first consumer computer was invented. Media corporations realized that people could obtain news from the Internet. Therefore, on March 17, 2009, the first web-only newspaper format was formed.
The Hearst Corporation announced that the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, a 146-year-old paper, was going to become a web-only publication. It was the first major U.S. newspaper to abandon print format.
Most printed newspapers have a website that includes their articles. The Internet is threatening the popularity of the printing press.
However, newspapers have presented valuable information to people, letting writers like us express our own ideas and the truth.
They also provide us with a job. The newspaper system has infiltrated other mediums, but that does not mean that the printed newspaper will become extinct.
As long as there are news events and there are writers, the printed newspaper will continue to advance into a credible source of information.
In case you fell asleep during our presentation, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Alexis. We hope that our presentation informed you about the development of the newspaper.